Hey, quick video for Chris Cuomo. Today is the 9th, your show today. Again, I try to go out of my way to listen on the radio because I think you're probably the clearest voice we have in the middle. And I can't tell which side you're on, which is what I really appreciate. But I think my frustration today was so high because we're talking about unvaccinated people, what it means to the country, how do we communicate with them, and you had two guys calling with two profound concepts, and they were dead on. One was talking about we're just too busy trying to go to work and trying to make ends meet and just trying to get through our lives. We can't get involved in some of the chaos because we have no time to get caught up in the chaos, because just like when I try to take a couple hours out of the day to listen to you on the radio and maybe try to make a phone call, which is almost impossible to get through. But there's days I just sit and I try to get through, and I'm been self-employed for 31 years. I employ people, but this country is headed for such catastrophic outcome, and I know you hate those kind of extremes. But then you had a caller that called in, I think it was maybe one of the last callers of the day. He talked about how this has been festering for over 150 years, and it's middle-aged white males that just won't let go of the fact that black people aren't equal. They don't deserve any kind of reparations. Native Americans, any person of color, and they feel like they're under fire because their whiteness is being somehow downplayed, which I find to be ridiculous. I'm white. You made that guy feel so somewhat awkward because you asked him, was he white, when he said this has been going on for 150 years and it's the middle of the country that's causing this. And I'm telling you, I live in the state of Utah. It is hardcore here. Just even posting this video puts my company at risk. I'm getting to the point now I just don't think I care anymore. I mean, this country has got to get over racism. It's got to get over the inequality of the wealthy like yourself that just doesn't care realistically about where this country is going. Because no matter what happens, climate change, socioeconomic divides, the poor, the rich, red and blue, the rich are always going to make it through. That's why I don't care if Trump really gets back in power, if he runs amok, because people with money will always be able to afford their houses in multiple states. They'll always be able to second guess where they can live because they can financially afford it. They can send their kids to the best schools so their kids can then come out and pretty much get a job worthy of sustaining themselves through the chaos, and leaving the other 60-70% of us to swim. But you made it. You actually said this. Are you white? And the guy goes, no, I'm not. He goes, because if you would have been, I would have said you would have been a white male with low self-esteem or esteem issues. I have no self-esteem issues. We all have anxieties. We all have what we feel less about ourselves, but that's not issues of self-worth. I feel really good about myself. I do good in my life. I try to do what's right for others. There's absolutely a racism problem here. There's absolutely a better white problem. I've said this on your show. I've had people in my state say things to me so blatantly racist, thinking I was on that side of the coin. And the fact that you brushed him off showed me that it's all about money. That's why you don't talk poorly about Tucker Carlson, who's tearing this country apart. I can't believe I can't think of the guy's name. He's your friend because you don't ever want to talk bad about him. Because rich people don't talk bad about rich people. Because it's more important for you to keep your wealth and your status than truly change the narrative of a future of a country that, in my opinion, I just don't see us making it through the other side. I just don't. You talk about pie. The pie's eaten already by the wealthy. The people that don't pay the taxes. That don't care about climate change because they can go to the warmer parts of the country or the colder parts of the country. They can always afford the $9 avocado. They can avoid the catastrophic behavior for the next 100 years. And I think they believe that they can hide it by just buying islands up and find themselves completely disconnected from the reality of what we're all going through. So to me, I find this to be insidious. But the way you acted today showed me as a listener, who I love you. You may not think so after this video, but I'm okay with that because you don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. It's your show. You can say what you want. I listen. I can say what I want. I'll have the fallout of what I say, and you can have the fallout of what you say. That's the beauty of this country. I love this country. My son's a U.S. Marine. My daughter's in a Fortune 500 management. And we talk all the time about how climate change has almost taken the desire of having much of a future. And if you listen to most young kids, there's not much going there. And it's white, wealthy people that drive the narrative. They drive the two-party system. Yesterday, you shot down people that said we need to get rid of I'm just struggling here. Just irritates me. Probably because I'm so frustrated how you treated that last caller and blew off what he had to say when he was dead on. But rich white people don't want to talk about racism. They just don't. And it's so relevant. It's so evident everywhere you go. I have another real good friend of mine who's a contractor like me, and I called him up because I've been listening to all this, and I thought it was so stupid in asking it, and I did. I said, come on, Joel, do you believe racism really is a thing in America? Is it really something you deal with every day? I said, come on, brother, are you kidding me? I mean, you're insulting me. CC called up about a month ago, right before TC, the arrogant prick, in my opinion, who laughed and loves to rub in the face that Trump is never going to go to jail for being really a destroyer of American decency. Now, of course, one man can't do that. He has to be driven by all the other people that feel the same way, which is what most Republicans feel, your friends that you don't want to talk about because it'll make you look bad in those circles. How silent are all the Republicans on January 6th? On really not going after mass mandates, who don't really want to have an inquiry into it, who want to do voter suppression, all the things that are going women's rights. It's so jacked that we're headed for chaos. And then CC calls up on the same day and tries to tell you about the racism and how white people look away from the problem, and you blew it off. Don't quite see it. You see where he's coming from, but you quite can't grasp it. And then TC calls up and you give the guy birth and breath on him laughing about Donald Trump being untouchable. And you have two opposite ends of one who TC, he ain't no good guy. He wants to see this whole thing blow up. I don't want him to vote for a Democrat because the guy is obviously an asshole. Anybody that supports Trump, who is a destroyer, and I was a Republican my whole damn life for 25 years until this party's gone so far south, it feels like Nazism to me. And then you got CC, who you blow off. You should check yourself. You check your wealth, check what money is about in this country, and money is destroying this country. Capitalism is destroying everything. You don't want to put your finger on that because that will take money out of your pocket, but it's destroying your kids' futures. Like all rich people, you guys can get through it while the rest of us can't. And again, I love you, man. You've got a voice and a compassionate heart that just doesn't want to go that extra 10% because you know what it's going to cost you. And nobody wants to cost their money because in this country, money is gold, baby. It's more important than climate, more important than our kids' future, more important than racism, voter suppression. It's all about keeping what we earned. Fuck the rest. It's my opinion. I do love you, man. I do believe you have so many good things to say. I still listen to you every day. I listen to you for hope. And I know you don't want that because I don't expect you to be the guy that tries to shoulder that for a lot of us. But you are that voice of rational thought, but you still can't get through the other side, and I know why, because you have no show, or you don't want that wealth to go away, which I don't respect either one of them. All right, peace.